Shout out to the Federalist. What a great article. And I have to admit, I like the article because it used the word carpetbagger in there. Okay. The News Georgia Republican is a scandal plagued Democrat carpetbagger. We know who they're talking about. They're talking about your girl, Tiffany Henyard. If Tiffany Henyard was ousted and left a trail of financial ruin in a small Illinois village, what will she do with the 1.4 billion budget in the Fulton County, Georgia? Shout out to Mark Davis of the Federalist for writing about this. What does he say? The village of Dalton, Illinois has been in an unfortunate laboratory for the specific brand of leftist governance for years. Under the leadership of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the small suburb became synonymous with fiscal chaos, alleged self-dealing, and a flamboyant disregard for the standard rules of municipal conduct. But now, as the legal and political walls close in back home, Henyard is to attempting the ultimate political Houdini act, moving to Georgia and rebranding herself as a Republican. The Dalton disaster. To understand why Georgians should be weary, one must first look at the wreckage left behind in Illinois. Henyard's tenure in Dalton was marked by a series of scandals that would make even a seasoned Chicago machine politician blush. From the hiring of convicted S offenders as a code enforcement officer to alleged using taxpayer funds to lavish personal expenses, including first-class travel and high-end beauty services, Henyard's administration was defined by a stunning lack of transparency. The financial fallout was severe. Under her watch, the village's deficit ballooned into millions, leaving local vendors unpaid and essential services in jeopardy. The turmoil reached such a fever pitch that the village board eventually moved to oust her as mayor, as a move she fought with the same litigious tenacity that has defined her entire career. A new frontier in the old playbook. Faced with a mounting pile of grievances, unpaid bills, and legal judgments, including a recent order to pay $10,000 in a rent dispute with a former landlord, Henyard has decided to change of scenery is in order. It has now qualified as a candidate for the District 5 seat in Fulton County Board of Commissioners in Georgia, the seat being vacated by Marvin Arrington Jr., who is running for the chairman of the Fulton County Commission. Oh my gosh, there's just a lot of wrong right there. But it isn't just the geography that has changed. It's the partisan label. The woman who governed as a staunch high-spend Democrat in Illinois is now running as a Republican. This isn't a principal conversion born from a newfound love for limited government or fiscal responsibility. Instead, it appears to be a cynical attempt to exploit a new electorate that may not yet be familiar with her history. I don't know how. She was reported all through Georgia. We talked about her here a lot in Georgia, just in the local news. But let's continue. The damage of Henyard's rebrand is twofold. First, it threatens the integrity of the Republican brand in a critical swing state. The GOP is supposed to be a party of law, order, and fiscal sanity, the exact opposite of everything Henyard represents in Dalton. Allowing a politician with such a long list of grievances to wear the Republican mantle without challenge, even in what political scientists call an uphill battle, is an invitation for the same kind of corruption to take root in Georgia. Second, it highlights a growing trend of political carpetbaggery where disregarded officials move elsewhere to outrun their reputations. Georgia voters, particularly those in Fulton County, must ask themselves if Henyard was outed, or rather ousted, and left a trail of financial ruin in small Illinois village, what will she do with a $1.4 billion budget of one of the South's largest and most influential counties? Tiffany Henyard's move in Georgia is not a fresh start. It's an escape act. Her attempt to wrap herself in a Republican flag is a slap in the face of every conservative who believes in accountability and the rule of law. The people of Georgia deserve better than an Illinois transplant looking for a new venue for an old scam. Shout out to Mark Davis. I like that. And let's also just add that by her running as a Republican, and there's one Democrat that's running, if she wasn't running, that Democrat would I mean, it's almost a guarantee the Democrat's going to win. But if Tiffany Henyard wasn't running, the Democrat would not have to waste time campaigning against Tiffany Henyard. Once the primary is over, the Democrat would already be the shoe in, and they would have to campaign. But now they got to campaign and run against Henyard. For what reason? She's not going to win. And let's also be honest, she probably is going to fall flat because we know, I mean, she's known here in Georgia. It's not like a fluke, but let's keep it going. So the other day, I got a text message from somebody in Dalton, told me that Tiffany Henyard's dad had been shot. And thankfully, as far as I understand, he is recovering. So it wasn't terminal or fatal rather. But look at this article. Tiffany Henyard says father shot in Chicago urges Pritzker and Johnson to accept help from Trump on crime. A former South Suburb mayor is calling for federal help to address crime in Chicago after father was reportedly shot earlier this week. Former Dalton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor Tiffany Henyard urges Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson to accept federal assistance to help clean up crime after she says her father was seriously wounded in a shooting Wednesday on the city's west side. Yes, it's true. My family's been directly affected by the senseless violence that continues to plague Illinois. Yesterday, my father, my hero, was an innocent victim of a random and heartbreaking violence, Henyard said in a statement shared on Thursday on Facebook. At this time, I am calling for Governor Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson to seriously reconsider federal assistance from President Donald J. Trump to help address this crisis and better protect the residents of Illinois, particularly in Chicago. She said, across this country, communities that have welcomed federal support have experienced measurable reductions in crime. Cities such as Memphis, Tennessee, Washington, D.C., and New Orleans, Louisiana, during the 2026 Mardi Gras period have all seen positive outcomes through collaborative efforts. President Trump notably deployed the National Guard to all three cities as part of a federal intervention geared toward crime reduction and public safety. I mean, except for the fact that it's Tiffany Henyard, I can rock with what she said. I can rock with what she said, but Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, they're not going to do that. Henyard said that the residents of Illinois deserve feel safe in their homes and neighborhoods, adding that the difference between Illinois and those other states is simple. Their leadership chose collaboration, and that collaboration produces results. I mean, I can't disagree with her. I respectfully urge Governor Pritzker to reconsider working in partnership with President Donald J. Trump to ensure the safety and well-being of the people you were elected to serve. Once again, thank you for your prayers and support and your compassion. Please continue to keep my family lifted in prayer during an extremely difficult time, she wrote. I mean, I can't be mad at her. I can't. I agree with her. The problem is this is an ideologue. She's dealing with Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. They would rather see Illinois burn to the ground than have Trump help them out, or at least ask Trump for help. Dig deeper. Henyard's father was reportedly shot at 5:54 p.m. Wednesday at the 1300 block of South Kensington Avenue in North Lawndale neighborhood, according to Chicago police. A 65-year-old was in the alley when he was shot in the neck and was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in serious condition. The current mayor of Dalton, Jason House, also released a statement of the shooting. We are saddened to learn of the tragic incident involving her and her father. Her father, I should say her and her father. Our thoughts are with him as he fights towards recovery and with his family as they navigate this moment of uncertainty and concern. House said, we stand in unity, offering our prayers, strength, and support for the former Mayor Henyard and her loved ones. Okay, that's respectful. That's respectful. Henyard, who lost the 2025 Democratic Dalton mayoral primary, is now running in Fulton County Board of Commissioners, District 5 in Georgia as a Republican. All right. That's pretty wild, man. Definitely praying for Tiffany Henyard's dad. I want her to lose here in Georgia, get out of here. You should never have been here in Georgia in the first place. It's unfortunate. Why don't you go and fight for Illinois? You're an Illinois baby. Why don't you fight for Illinois? They need you, and you can fight for it. Now, granted, you got a lot of baggage. Fight through that baggage, clean that baggage up, do right, repent, turn from that stuff, and fight for your state. Don't come down here to Georgia and carpet bag down here. We don't need you. We don't need you down here. But let me know what y'all think. What are your thoughts on this? Tiffany running as a Republican. Tiffany now asking Donald J. Trump to protect the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, respectfully. What do y'all think about that? Let me comment down below. Let's keep that conversation going. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and helping us hit our goal of 100,000 subscribers. Looking forward to celebrating with y'all real soon. Until then, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.